The Earth is flat.
My reality, my senses tell me that the Earth is flat.
We've grown up feeling that we are individuals. We are perhaps the generation most free to be who we feel we are. But in some ways, our identity is just being defined by a new, powerful outside force. Persuasive technology. This technology exists in social media and all other online platforms. It collects and analyzes personal data, therefore able to cater to a specific demographic and reinforce all of that group's biases by giving people the comfort of perpetually feeling correct. Physically, we are living in one same world, but we also living in different customized illusions of what the world is. People are convinced that critical thinking and scrutiny are not necessary. We are more and more intolerant of people having different opinions. Extreme polarization leads to chaos and conflict in society. This project seeks ways to amplify and exaggerate the heating issue of surveillance capitalism, persuasive technology, and group polarization. Consider Mawan Island as a brand and try to build up an analog city that emphasizes this social phenomenon. In this city, people would be considered as data producers that generate objective data. In this sweat factory of data production, the continuously evolved information will be gathered and analyzed for the benefit of persuasion. The abstract process of data collection, data analysis, and persuasion are metaphorically presented in the form of sorting and dyeing systems. This conceptual system diagram is the foundation of our city design. We propose 6 types of sorting system. Each one has a delivering and dyeing system connected to it, forming a circulation loop. Input and output points are attached to the loop as the exit and entry. We use geometry as a metaphor for the human mind. In the process of roaming through the system, people are being analyzed or diverted to different routes based on our data set. Different route means to be subjected to different color dyeing, which represents the customized information that people received. As a result, different demographic groups will end up having different RGB color properties, and that color will become part of personal identity. When geometries exit the sorting and dyeing systems, they will be transferred to its allocated area of Mawan Island. The landform will continuously transformed over time. Islands are merged and separated depend on the evolving data input and the judgment criteria of the sorting systems. In this presentation, we set up constant data and generate this point in time as a prototype to show the process of polarization. As the color dyeing become more and more saturated, consolidate group identity are formed. Based on the system diagram, the analog Mawan was generated. It consists of 4 main layers: sorting system, dyeing system, voxel information cocoons that accommodate human data geometries, and the Mawan archipelago. Dispatch system consists of crane and lift as a secondary program that transport geometries from voxel structure to upper system. These platforms host sorting systems. It includes 6 functional structures that detects and analyzes different aspects of personal data, including basic information, personality, news and social media concern, hobbies and finance. Different scene simulations have been set inside different structures to collect different types of data. We used tectonic form and spatial configuration to represent different features of each system, creating spatial qualities to embody online experiences. Once the data are being analyzed, the next step is color dyeing. The circulation tube function as both dyeing system and delivering system, connecting 2 sorting platforms. In this cyber city, RGB color value is selected as the dyeing scheme, which can be supported in all platforms and browsers, and would also be available to scan its color parameters in order to analyze personal identities. Each dyeing action only adds up values of 1 parameter with RGB color scheme till meets the full load of 255, and becomes distinctive of its own. Once the individual in the transparent geometry is tagged by the machinery as a target, he or she be diverted to a specific dyeing tube where persuasions of all type would take place. Take this plan as an example. In here general types of persuasion are specified to dyeing tubes. The types of persuasion, related to social engagement, self-affiliation, social activities, body fitness, branded products, investment and insurance, are determined and closely related to sorting platforms that are connected. An AI business model for people engaged would be built up eventually by the persuasive technology, in order to predict everything that this slave does, which is coinciding with the intention of targeting and psychological persuasion. Several trials after this gradual process, the city will end up with categorized voxels with high saturation color, demonstrating the result of a brainwashing process. Here we have a human sample named Jack U. Jack's sorting and persuasion journey starts from the collection of his basic information data and previous life experiences. The result of data analyzing have been tagged him as a high-income person but of low society position. He will be diverted into the red tube to next sorting platforms. In the red tube, he will receive tons of pop-up information that are well received by other people with the tags of both high income and low society position. His transparent white cube have been dyed with red color due to the red persuasive information. Following the same logic, Jack will go through other 5 sorting systems with different sorting criteria. Coming out of each sorting system, his cyber identity will be narrowed down to one specific demographic group. His behavior mode will be predicted using the big data of that demographic group. Then he will be allocated to a route that he most likely to engage with, and receives the customized persuasive information. The project is a motif that demonstrates how people as avatars to be continuously tracked, aligned, measured and recorded by persuasive technology. In this transect, we situate the whole virtual site around online platforms to record and track data, regardless of its monopoly, brutality and exploitation. Zoom into the details. There are some key moments of black humors that this cyber Mawan island might generate. We have moments of sorting where cranes and lifts within the system function in placing and delivering voxels back to the channels. Several abstract architectural forms of diversion system in order to filtrate and select certain groups that the advertisers are looking for. The exaggerated webcams to set up to monitor slaves' reflections to scenarios and time of engagements. The core crane, which is established at the center of diversion system, mainly to supervise and ensure that surveillance capitalism. It is proposed that by extending its long arm, the crane would be easily fetching a voxel to its right destination, ensuring that each group are entitled to own customized data. The generated result of the project can visually explain the issues of persuasion technology and polarization. That type of data visualization provides another angle to interpreted social phenomenon. Take the current event as an example. Gazillions of confusion and misinformation was massed up by online platforms during the coronavirus pandemic, spreading panic, anxiety among public. Undoubtedly, social media helps proliferating fake news. Using mapping on COVID-19 as an example, people from different demographic groups shows different degrees of fear on COVID-19. Follow this project's logic. It does not mean that people having their own judgments of information, it just suggests that the information people received are different. In conclusion, we state that persuasive technology creates rabbit holes for people. The further you go, the further you are to reality and diversity. Thus, there is no wonder that Edward Tufte argued that there are only 2 industries that call their customers users: illegal drugs and softwares. It goes too far from a loyal tool, but approaching and preparing for the 3rd industry revolution of the future technologic world, which is hence predicable. During the whole design process, we constantly discussing one question: is this project a dystopia? Now we will say, it varies, depends on when the question is asked. If it is asked 10 years ago, the answer would be yes. But if you ask tomorrow, maybe it is just the reality. René Descartes states that I think therefore I am. But if what we think, what we do and who we are all manipulated by persuasive technology and surveillance capitalism, are we still truly thinking? Therefore, are we still living?